Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CryptoBestBuys back for another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the SUI token and the SUI network and give you guys a price prediction. So, SUI is currently sitting at a market cap of $515 million with $136 million in volume. If you don't know what this project is about, I would advise you do dedicated research into it, but in conclusion, it's a similar blockchain to what we've seen from Solana. So it's a layer 1 blockchain and a smart contract platform designed from the bottom up to make digital asset ownership fast, private, secure, and accessible to everyone. So their own creator quotes itself as wanting to compete with the likes of Ethereum and Solana. Now, these are bold claims, so I'd be careful with following everything you see. But I just wanted to give you guys my opinion and price prediction for where I think SUI is going in the future. Now, SUI recently launched in the last couple of months. So its mainnet dropped, I think, on the 3rd of May of this year. And we did have ICOs from SUI, as we can see here. Now, these ICOs ended in April. There were a couple of rounds. So this round, they sold them at 10 cents. And then the one before that, they even hit 3 cents. But the thing to note about these ICOs is that they were offered to mainly large investors. So these are Silicon Valley and big projects and investors that put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. So that's majority of where the ICO money went. Now, people did, like the average person, I think, did hop into some of the ICO, but I think it was at a little bit of a higher price and it was on exchanges like KuCoin, etc. However, I just want to talk about where I think SUI is going. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is something really important that we have to get into before looking at the actual price, and this is going to be the circulating supply. So SUI has a total supply of 10 billion and is currently only at about 530 million. So that's 5% of what the total supply is. Now, if we're going to see here, this is the distribution of the 5% so far. So the SUI Foundation, which is obviously the creators and then early contributors. So these are going to be the investors that were put into the ICOs. And then Miston Labs is a subset of the SUI Foundation. So I think they're very similar. I think most of the people work in a similar sector. It's they bought Miston Labs, I'm pretty sure. So 75% of the total supply is already controlled by 3 big players. So that means only 25% of this 1%, of this 5% is offered to you guys, which is going to be a pretty small amount, It's going to be like 1.25 to 1.5% of the whole tokenomics is going to be controlled by the public. Now, hopping into that 5%, so SUI plans to release tokens over time. Now, currently sitting at 5%, we can see here. But once we hit November of this year, we're going to see SUI nearly quadruple in token supply. So we're going to bulk all the way up to around about 22%. Now, that is really important to note, guys. So once November rolls by, we're going to get 4 times the amount of token that's already in the market. Now, that means SUI is going to be at around about 2 billion coins by the end of the year. And that's going to heavily dilute the price. Now, if we keep the current market cap we're at right now, but have the same amount of tokens, we'd be see SUI sitting at somewhere around 25 cents. So that's really important to note, guys. You got to look at these tokenomics before hopping into the price prediction. And as we can see here by this graph, it's just going to continue over time. Once we hit about May next year, we're going to get another sort of 10 to 5%. But the biggest jump is going to be towards the end of this year. Now, what I think that means for the price action, as we can see here, this is the 4-hour on Binance. So we had a huge wick, obviously, when it first listed, because it went from ICO price all the way up to around $2. But we're obviously in a downtrend now because there is going to be a lot of selling pressure. So the big investors and the people who bought at ICO are already up, 5 to 10 times that money. And if you bought at 3 cents, then geez, you're up nearly 30x. So you guys have to note that there's a lot of bigger fish in this crypto. Personally, I think looking at TA right now is pretty just kind of irrelevant because of the nature of the project at the moment and the position we're in. Honestly, looking at the 1 day, I think SUI, once we hit November, I think there's going to be a lot of issues and problems. Not because I'm doubtful of their token and their mainnet. They recently launched their mainnet, but just because of those issues with supplies. Personally, I would not be hopping into SUI right now. It's one of the projects I think you should just leave alone for a little bit. You don't have to invest in every crypto. It's a lot better to not lose money than to miss out on gaining money. So I would leave it alone for now, guys. Maybe wait until November, see what happens then, and I'll follow up with another video sort of around the time to give you guys a more accurate price prediction. But honestly, I think SUI will dump by the end of the year. So I would personally not put any money into it right now. But that's just a quick video on the SUI network and the SUI token. If you guys want to see anything else, just let me know. But I'll see you guys in the next one.